default. G-Track Pro. Are you recording now? Yes, you are. Excellent. Okay, so I am recording and I'm doing some audio stuff, so I thought you might want to watch. So, I'm going to start from scratch. I've got, force delete on that. There we go. So what I've got is a load of audio files over here. So I'm just going to create a new audio queue. Okay, a sound queue is like a collection of stuff. So I'm going to call it queue engine. And we'll call it queue engine NT, not threat. Okay. I sometimes use abbreviations and I forget what the abbreviation means. So not threat's about one. Now for its class, I'm using UGT, so I'll use UGT effect audio, and what that means is that in my menu systems I've got mine farmed out to UGT. If I change the effect volume inside of my menu, the effect volume for this will automatically turn down. The attenuation settings, I've got a large attenuation here, ATT large, so I'll use that. It's safe. So now this is done. Okay, so I've got 4 non-threatening voices here, and I've also got some engine. I think I've got, let's see, a few. Turn them up. Some of them are looping. That's too loud. That's a footstep sound. That's a piston. And there. So this one's the main loop. So we'll drag that in. Okay, so get our diesel here, and the first thing I need to do is loop it. So I'm going to drag it off and type loop, and that will turn this into a loop. I could have just selected looping here, but I first have the control of it over here. Then from this, I'm going to feed it basically straight into here. Listen to how it sounds. Hear that? Okay, so we've got a click at the end, so it's not quite properly doing a loop there. It's going to sound interrupted, but that's okay because we can fix that up by doing some little things to it. So we've got this one. Okay, so I'm going to grab that in. Now what I could do is I could mix these together. So if I just select these two parts here and throw a mix in, and then output that to my output, what it'll do is I'll mix these two sounds together. But it still leaves that little bit of a kind of thing before it does anything. So what I need to do in actual fact is delay it. Now, if I look at my sample here, I'm just going to count in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Right, so I'm going to say 2.5 seconds. So I'll grab this, put a delay in, connect that to there, and this delay is going to be approximately 2.5 seconds for the minimum and the maximum. Let's play that now. Too long. Okay, so this delay needs to be 2 seconds. Try that. And it's not looping if you notice, so I also need to add a loop to this. So let's drag out a loop. Connect the loop to my mixer. There we go. Okay, so let's hit save, play now. Bomb. Okay, so now this isn't working because it's looping after the delay, which is no use to us. So let's loop it before the delay. It's constantly looping. Check that out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to adjust this loop now. This delay. And I'm going to give it slightly less rhythm. Now I'm going to take a second one. And this delay I'm going to change to 0.7 seconds to 1.5 seconds. I'm going to add an output for the mixer channel. Okay, that's good. can add some variation to these if I want to, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to add a third one. Okay, because remember we've got 3 sounds coming in here. That one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some boom sounds to it. So I'm going to get this heavy sound of HUGH stuff coming in here. You can see my loops. So I'm going to grab these, put them down here, get a copy of this, put it here, and I'm going to start connecting these together, and then I can adjust it on the fly. So because this is all now stuff that's just coming into this boom sound over here, I'm also going to isolate this. So I'll get rid of that. And instead I'll have all 4 channels coming into this, like so. And then I'll select this and this, just using a control drag, and I'll add a new mixer between the 2. Okay, so now we've got 2 mixers going on. And if I play, I'll start connecting it up. This one isn't hitting this mixer for some reason. I'm not sure why either, which is peculiar. Nothing appears to be coming in from these, which looks a bit like a bug to me, so I'll just have to use the single mixer here. It could be that I'm just missing something, but I'm not messing around waiting forever, just for the sake of being tidy. So let's put these all into the same channel. It could be that the loop is just looping this and never coming out of it anyway. Look at this, these are just not doing anything, are they? Okay, so let's find out what's going on here. This is not playing at all. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I see what's happened. Did you see that? I made a schoolboy error. I'm just doing Control Z. You probably noticed this and I didn't. That's not a mixer, that's a mature. So what I've done is fed both of these into a mature rather than a mixer. If I actually just feed these both into a mixer now, that was human error. Let's check these delays. Okay, these are all roughly firing at the right time now. Great. Okay, so we've got some stuff now. I've got this heavy diesel. So this heavy diesel here will fire in when we go into the threat mode. So let me see, we've got Q engine not a threat here, which is going to be stuck on, and we also want voices. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and do Q, right click, audio, whoopsie daisy, right click, audio, sound cue. Hue, angry. Open that up. And this is easy enough. I've just got some different things in here you can play. So let's see, audio. We want threat voice. As you can see, there's a few of them. Something there. Now, all of these, I'm going to, let me see, I'm not going to loop them all, or they'll just loop forever. That's no good to me. Now I'm going to put a delay in on each one of these. So the delay on each one of these is going to be between 1 and 15 seconds. I need to randomize it, so I'm just going to stick these down here. So basically, between every 1 and 15 seconds, it's going to scream something at the player. Just generally to be a bit unnerving and or annoying. Just connect these together. We could make these where they're kind of editable and things like that, but I tend to be going for simplicity at this point. Plus I can make it say things anyway when it's doing certain stuff. So now we've got these all delayed, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to call a random. There we go. So it's going to pick one of these randomly and output it. And now, if I play Q, need to wait a few. It's going to take its time by the looks of things. Change it between 1 and 3 seconds. Good, that'll do. Okay, so between 1 and 15 seconds it's going to do that. After random, I want it to loop back. So let's loop it back on itself. Okay. Let's try it now. Perfect. Okay, so we'll get these working okay. Hit that. And now I need to put together the output on this. So for the class, again, I'm using UGT as my effects. I'm using should be a largish voice. There we go. Large. Done. So now what I can do is I can have that inside of this and it will do what it's supposed to do. So I've got angry and I've got non-threat. Now what I also need to do is make a non-threatening one. Because well, non-threat is just going to be used here. A bit hue, hue angry. I'm going to make audio, sound cue, hue diag. That's diagnostic mode, pretty much the same as the one before. So let's just set up the class first. So again, this is going to be my master audio, sorry, effects audio. It's going to be large, just so the player can hear that it's in standby and also hear that it's around. That's kind of important, because you know, threat and concern.
Redeemer itself.
Right, mix these together. So I'm going to add a delay. And the delay is going to be slightly more this time, somewhere between 1 and 30 seconds. Like that. Feed them all together. So this is just a self-diagnostic mode. Grab all these and I'm just going to random them. Random. Like that. And then I'm going to loop them like that. It's not particularly difficult, it's just a bit of logic, and then I output that to my audio. There we go, but it does add a world of difference. Okay, sit and save. So we can close that down, that's all done now. And I'll come back to my main hue, which is over here. And BP Bostroid, that's this fellow here. So come in, and inside of here there's a few things I need to do. So firstly I'm going to add the engine, which is going to be attached to the mesh. Now I can hear that my engine is not working where I want it to at the minute. That's it, it was only playing the one channel, that's fine. I might change this diesel engine here actually for slightly better. Just going to it. One minute. There we go. Take the cue out of that, otherwise it'll play forever. Right, so I just want to build in this engine, so I'm putting the two delays in, looping, and add a secondary input here. I'll change the input volumes on this. Change that one, and I think what I'll also do is grab this, pop it up here. I'm going to take out these two inputs and change them for this standard diesel here that I was working on before. And that'll give us the background hiss. So I'll add another two channels for that. Check it. Those are too loud, you see, but I can bring them down. Still too loud, bring it to about 0.25. That's not bad, that'll do me. And do I have any other fun sounds I can use? Not that one. Okay, that'll be fine. So with that, I can now save these and put this into here. And the cue, I'm going to turn it off. So it should be enabled on this. Auto activate, there we go. And that way it will only play when I want it to. So compile and save. And we'll just have it go on begin play. So I'll just start from 0. So this will only play now when I actually start the game rather than what's been happening. So now if I go in and click play, okay, so the cue's still a little bit loud. Let's just adjust that. So the volume multiplier is going to be 0.35 with a pitch multiplier of 0.3, and that will make it much deeper and more interesting. Perfect. Okay, so that's working now. So that is how we apply some basic audio to this. Now for the actual voice itself, Let's make it a bit schizophrenic, I think, because that's always good fun. So I want the audio to play just depending on what it's doing. So let me see. Let's have a look at my animation blueprint. Okay, and let's have a look over at its AI. So we've got attack, chase blueprint class. I could probably add something like that. Now the issue I have is, if you look, I can't actually create components from assets in a non-actor blueprint. However, I can get a reference to control pawn, which is this one, and then in that instance, if I go back to my controlled pawn, so I just need to go into my, where the heck I put it, whilst drawing, I could create a custom event. There we go, we can call it anger, like so. And then what I should technically be able to do is call an anger event from my, what do you call it? Okay, so at the minute I can't, because what I'll need to do is call my BP boss droid and check that that is the current pawn that is controlled. So let me just quickly finish this. So let me see. Because we're receiving this, so I'm going to cast to BP boss droid. There we go, and as the object, I can see if that's it. And then I'll do a quick print, and that will just tell me what's going on. Play from here. Interesting. Okay, so it isn't getting to there, which means I've got my player pawn, I've got my active location. I might be able to just do a spawn there actually, we'll see. I need another way of spawning it there. Anyway, I'll work on that. Here's some more video later on. Ta-ta.